You've been playing Madanga a long time?
I played tabla.
Huh?
Tabla.
You played tabla?
Yeah.
Oh.
My son played Mridanga.
Huh?
My son played Mridanga. Ojasvi Prabhu.
Huh?
My son.
His son
Oh,
played.
that. You're Ojasvi father.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He played Mridanga. I played
You
tabla.
played Madanga, huh? You played tabla, huh?
Yeah, he is Mridanga teacher.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you played tabla, huh? Jaya Radha Madhava Om Namo Bhagavate Bhakti Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So we are continuing our study, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6. Today, chapter number 15. The great saint Narada and Angira instruct King Chitraketu. But before we go into chapter 15, we'll quickly review chapter 14. Alright. What happened, chapter 14? Someone like to tell me something? What happened? Began with mother inspiration.
Astrology, how does demon Vritrasura possess such devotional qualities? How the demon Vritrasura has such devotional qualities?
How Vritrasura has such devotional qualities. Okay. Yes. Usually the demons are, well, he's in the mode of passion and they give a lot of trouble to people. But somehow Vritrasura was speaking words of devotion. Alright, so then what happened? Yes? What happened? When we hear about a great
King Chitraketu.
yes,
And when he was ruling, there was no shortage. There was a lot of prosperity, and all the citizens were very happy.
everyone was provided nicely for. Yes, all the needs were taken care of. And he was ruling the world. But was he happy? What was wrong?
He had 10.
He had 10 million wives, but no child, no son.
Yeah, he had many wives, but he was not able to have one child, one son. He wanted a son. So when he was in that condition, who came to visit him?
Angira Rishi.
Angira Rishi came to see. And Angira
He asked him,
was asking him,
how is your welfare, about your kingdom, how are you? All these questions he asked.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not happy because I don't have a son. So Angira gave him blessing that you will have a son with jubilation and lamentation.
Angira said, I can see from your face, right?
You are not
From
happy.
your face that there's some problem. And then Chitraketu explains that he wants to have the son. So then, what happened?
He gives a blessing that you will have a son with jubilation and lamentation.
Yeah, the son, Harsha Shok, right?
Harsha.
It will bring happiness and also because of lamentation. So Chitraketu, what did he think? He thought,
Because I'm the emperor of the world, maybe my son will not be obedient to me. That might be the lamentation I might have to go through.
the son may do things which he doesn't like, he may get drunk like that. But he thought, anyway, at least I'll have a son. So then, Angira did a yagya, got some sweet rice, gave it to the king, told him, give it to your wife, the first wife, the very first wife, and she ate the rice, became pregnant, delivered the child, in course of time, delivered the child, it was a boy, and everyone's very happy, everyone is rejoicing, except for
the queens, or no, not the other queens, they were being neglected by King Chitraketu.
Yeah, the king was so happy to have a child, he neglected all the other ladies who were his wives. So they felt neglected and they became very envious and bitter, and then they thought
they poisoned the son.
Give poison to the child. So then the child died. And then when the child died, then
the wife started criticizing the Supreme Lord that he does not know how to create.
Yeah.
Because the son died before the father. She gives that logic. So she says that you are not very intelligent in your creation. So she started blaspheming the Lord.
Oh, good. It's not a law, it's not a written law that the son has to outlive the father. Some things that happen, the son dies before the father. So anyway, she was talking to the Lord in that way, that you're not very expert in creation, and then she began to talk to the child. And what she's saying to the child?
Don't be taken away by the merciless Yama, Raj. Don't go. Don't go with the merciless Yamaraj.
Yeah. Don't go. Why you don't leave? Don't go with Yamaraj. Stay here. So
you're my only hope.
Huh?
You are my only hope.
You're the only hope. Yeah.
Who's gonna do the oblations for us? The forefather offering.
Oh, the offering for the forefathers. Yeah, the Pinda. She's thinking like that. So they're like this, they're all lamenting. And the other queens were also crying. Everyone was, all the citizens in the kingdom were all disturbed. We were almost unconscious. And then
Angira Rishi, seeing the lamentation, he felt compassionate, so he came along with Narada Muni to the place.
Right. So they've come together. Didn't come alone, he came along with Narada Muni. So that's how the chapter begins, like that. Sukadeva Goswami is describing Maharaj Chitraketu lay like a dead body at the side of the dead body of his son. And then Narada and Angira come and they're going to give him instructions. And they give powerful instructions. Of course, they're powerful personalities. And they come like that. So they're telling him, what relationship does the dead body have with you? Dead body. Right? When the person's alive, the body is very valuable. But when the body is dead, then who values it anymore? Sometimes you see people, they're so attached that there was this one couple, they were doing service in the temple in USA, one temple in the USA, and they were both very elderly, very elderly. And they were doing service together for the deities. And they said, we only have one prayer, that as soon as one of us dies, the other one wants to die also. The thought of one of them being left on their own, if one of them's gone, departed, the thought of one of them being there on their own without their spouse is unbearable to them. and said that as soon as one of us goes, the other one must go. You know, people have that kind of attachment, you know, it's very powerful. So dead body, the woman may be very beautiful, but when she dies, then there's no beauty there anymore in the body. So the real beauty is not in the body, the real beauty is in the soul. And the same way, the relationship, what relationship do you have with a dead body? The person dies, the relationship's finished. What are you going to do with the dead body? You're going to sit at the dining table and put a meal in front of the dead body? There was one program I was watching, and they were talking to old people, and the one man was talking about when his wife dies, he's going to take her in the car for a long drive. You know? Woman's already dead, you know. He wants to take his wife with him. He said she always liked to go for a long drive and see along the coast and see you know. Yeah, I took her for a long drive. Yeah, it's a long, well, it's a long drive to Yamaloka. So, I don't know which one's speaking. Is Angira speaking or is it Narada speaking? We're not told who's speaking.
There is, as of now, Shukadeva Goswami is
It's Sukadeva Goswami, but then the two sages instructed him.
As follows.
But which one instructed him?
Both of them are speaking together.
Yeah. Now, what relationship do you have with him? Now you may say that you are now related as father and son, but, right? Do you think that relationship existed before? Does it truly exist now? Will it continue in the future? So this is a logic. The world is temporary, and relationships are all temporary. You didn't have the relationship before, and in the future you won't have the relationship. So it's a temporary relationship. We come here because of our karma, and we accept bodies. We're born in a particular country, community, family, like that, according to our karma. And in the course of our existence in this body, we make many relationships. But these relationships are all finished at death. They're not eternal relationships. So the relationship at this moment is also illusion. It's certainly not eternal. But we become very much attached, of course, because common people are in bodily consciousness of life. So that bodily consciousness is very deep.
Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, when he boarded the Vaikuntha aircraft, he immediately thought of his mother. So, and we could see that the mother came in a separate Vaikuntha plane along with. So we are saying that it's a body relation within this earthly planet or this Bhumandala, this material world. But we see in the Dhruva case the relationship continued. I don't know what relationship continued in Vaikuntha, but he thought of his mother.
Well, because she was a guru, because she'd given him spiritual instruction, it was her who had directed him to go and find the Lord, to go to the forest. It was because, so he was indebted to her. And so when the airplane came to take him back, then he thought that she should also go, because she'd pointed the direction for him. So he felt indebted. He thought, if I'm going, she should also go. And she did.
It's like a guru, not like from material, not a material relationship.
Not material, really. Not only just bodies, definitely spiritual there. Some spiritual relationship was there. She was like his guru.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, attachment. Yeah, the mother is very strong, right? In Bengali culture, the mother.
More to the son. Mothers are more attached to sons.
Yeah, more attached to sons, isn't it? Well, the girls all have to get married. They go away to get married, right? So, mother slept. The woman's supposed to stay with her husband. Even the sons go away, daughters go away, but the woman should stay with her husband. She should be with her husband. She shouldn't go off with the son. They may be attached to the son, but they shouldn't go away with the son.
Isn't it like we see how Kardama Muni leaving behind the Devahati with her son Kapila Muni? So isn't it that the husband should take Vanaprastha and leave?
Well, that was because he was so renounced. He was such an advanced yogi. He could go off and leave her. And he left her with the son, and then later on Kapila also left her. Right? Kapila didn't stay with her. Then she taught her Sankhya Yoga, and then he also left.
She was under whose care then? Then Devahuti was under whose care when Kapila left?
Well, she was already perfect. She was already, in perfect consciousness. So he didn't need to stay with her anymore. She was in the hands of the Supreme Lord. She was a pure devotee. So she didn't need her son with her.
But in Ramayana, Mother Sita, she herself is Lord's energy. She was taken away by Ravana when she was alone for a short time. Although she is wife of Lord Rama.
They say that was the Maya Sita taken away. The real Sita could never be touched by Ravana. The real Sita just was replaced by a Maya Sita, and Ravana took the Maya Sita away.
So who does this apply to then? The parents, the husband and wife the wife is not supposed to go with the children, but to stay with the husband. Who does this apply to? You mentioned that the wife is not supposed.
The wife is supposed to stay with the husband. She follows her husband. The husband goes back to Godhead, the wife can follow the husband. She can also go back to Godhead. She follows him. When Dhritarashtra gave up his body, and then Gandhari entered into the fire. You read about the women, they do sati. They enter into the fire, they die with their husband. So when the husband's body is burned, the wife also gives up her body. She goes with the husband, the next.
But Kunti stayed behind to take care of her.
Well, because they were young children. Madri left because she was the one who was responsible for Pandu dying. the Pandu became lusty after Mantri, and then that's when he died. And so then Mantri thought it was my fault, that he became attracted to me. So I should go, I will go with him, I'll give up my life. So she entered in the fire. When Pandu's body was cremated, she also went into the fire. But Kunti stayed back because the children were young. She had to take care of it, somebody had to be there to take care of the children. A difficult position for women. Difficult. But generally that's the culture, that the woman follows the husband. She stays always with the husband. So then they give more examples about the nature of the material relationship, and they talk about particles of sand coming together but then being separated by the waves. So living entities come together and they're separated by the force of time. Sometimes Prabhupada will talk about the family, members of a family. He said it's just like you get together on a bus. You're traveling on a bus, you sit in the bus with people, and then after something you get off the bus, you never see the people again. You sit with them on the bus, or in the train, or in the plane, or what, you sit with all these people. It's like the same way we're in a family, you're born in a family. So these relationships are not eternal. But we have that. It's the force of our karma that's put us into that situation. So we come together, and in the course of time we're separated. At the same time, we're taught you should be very respectful to father and mother. Right? And Lord Rama was very respectful to his father. Respect for father and mother. A young girl, when she gets married, she should touch the feet of her father and mother. One devotee from Malaysia, she got married to a boy in Australia. So the father of the girl, he's an Indian man who lived in Malaysia, he told me when the daughter got married, part of the marriage, the son, the boy she was marrying, this Australian man, he had to come and touch the feet of the girl's father. Because he's going to marry the girl, he wants to marry this man's daughter, so he had to come and touch the father's feet. It's unusual. And this was part of the ceremony. And they have marriages like that, the parents come, they give away the girl in marriage. And when you have a marriage, somebody has to give away the girl to the groom, to the man. So mother and father are given some importance, but actually they're not really the proprietors. They claim, this is my daughter, this is my son. But, how did the children come about? They come together. Just like pieces of sand, not very significant. But compared to pieces of sand. So the bodily concept of life will make us always miserable. Being attached to the material body body will will constantly be miserable because so many miseries are there in the body. The body means suffering. Prabhupada quotes, Dukkhalayam Ashasvatam. What's the translation?
Once people are written back to the transcendental abode.
What?
See, once you attain the transcendental abode, you Samsiddhi Paramgata, who attain the transcendental abode, do not come back to this material world, which is full of dukkha and ashashita.
Mama Pecha Punarjana Dukkha Nahno Vanti Mahatmana
Samsiddhi Paramgata.
Great souls who are yogis in devotion, they never return to this material world, knowing it to be a temporary place of misery. So they give the example about sand, and then next they go on talking about seeds are sown into the ground. And so if you do some gardening or farming, like they're growing the mustard over here, they're just harvesting now, the mustard. So sometimes, you put seeds there, and sometimes something comes up, and sometimes it doesn't. Not all the seeds germinate. Some seeds grow and some seeds don't. And so sowing of seeds is not always productive. So it's not that just because the father wants a child, that he's going to get a child. You can see everywhere today, it's a big business of fertility clinics, There's couples, they want children, they want a child, and having difficulty to conceive a child, they take the help of a clinic. They go to the clinic and they have things like implanting the semen of somebody into the womb of a woman so she can conceive a child. Pay a lot of money for this kind of thing. And the woman has to lay on bed for 3 months or something to allow the semen to make a child in the womb. So, Kali Yuga, they do these things. But one couple I met, they were from somewhere over in Pune, I think. They were guiding people to have children. They said after 26, then it's difficult to conceive children. So they're supposed to get married when they're younger, and then they can have children. The problem today is a lot of people, they wait till they're older, and then they want to have children. That's very difficult, Once you get 30 and over 30, then it's very difficult to have a child. They said actually they should be actually 26 or under. But once they get older, then it's very difficult to have children. People today, we have to make some money, we have to have a house, we need this, and then only we can think about having a family. They're already old, And how can you get children? You cannot, And even though they may be young, it doesn't mean they're going to have children. Sometimes couples they're young, but they don't get children. So the Prabhupada talks about this in the purport. He says the artificial relationship of parenthood. Although we're taught to respect the mother and father, but the relationship is artificial. And then in the purport, Prabhupada is saying, Chitraketu Maharaj wasn't supposed to have a son. He tried to go against the plan of the Lord. He wanted a son, although he wasn't meant to have one. So when Angira gave him a blessing, then the child did not live very long. He got a child, but the child could not live for very long, soon died. So that's the kind of blessing. We try to go against the plan of the Lord, go against the material nature. What is our karma? What we're meant to do. And you get people doing a lot of things they're not really meant to do. They try to go against the material nature. In Japan, people in Japan, they like to have blue eyes. They think blue eyes are very nice. So their eyes, Japanese people, their eyes are more dark, So they get special things put on their eyes to make their eyes blue. And just like the same, with hair, ladies, in Asia, mostly Asian people, like that Indian and like that Chinese, they all have black hair.
Yes.
But they want to have hair in different colors. They dye their hair in different colors. The same way they do all these different things. Try to go against the nature. So Prabhupada gives some examples about how you cannot get a child. What's the question actually on that? There's a question about that.
Yes, list the arguments given to show the conception take place under the high control. Arguments.
Yeah. List some arguments to show that conception
takes place under the high control.
Under
higher
source, under higher control. In other words, it's not under the control of the mother and father. The mother and father, they may want to have a child, but it's not really under their control. It depends on the Supreme Lord. There's a higher force, a higher authority. So what are some of the examples which are given there?
They say that when contraceptive methods are taken, why don't they act?
Huh?
In the Prabhupada, in verse text 4, Prabhupada writes about contraceptive methods. When they're taken, they don't act. Sometimes, like father and mother have to kill the child in the womb. And we must conclude that our arrangement of so-called scientific knowledge cannot determine what will take place. What is enacted actually depends on the supreme will.
Yeah, but we want to know what are some of the things that prove that the act of conception is not just under the couple themselves, but there's a higher force.
Karmana devanetrena kintu te.
Well, you can't just quote Shastra. You can't just tell a couple, Karmana Dev, they're going to say, what are you talking about? You're talking to people, you have to give them some logic, have to give some practical proof, some example.
So, even though they were using contraceptives, Maharaj, sometimes birth is happening, so they're doing abortion. So, why are the contraceptives failing? Prabhupada asked.
Yes.
Why the contraceptive is failing? Maybe it's a problem with the contraceptive.
No.
You don't know that there's some problem with the couple or the... That's why.
And sometimes they're planning, but it's not.
What?
Sometimes, in the beginning, it says sometimes a child is born even to an impotent father and sterile mother.
Right.
And
The father may be impotent and the mother may be sterile, but somehow or other she gets pregnant.
And sometimes a potent father and fertile mother are childless.
Right. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
But Prabhupada actually said, he said, if the man is potent and the woman is healthy, then there will be conception. If you have a potent man and a healthy woman, then there should be conception. But it doesn't always happen. There are always exceptions to the rule. Just like here, sometimes a potent father and the fertile mother are childless. You know, it's not in the hands of the mother and father. Right? That's the point. It's not in the hands of the mother and father. And you get couples who don't want children, but they want to have sex. They want to have sex, but they didn't want a child. And then the woman gets pregnant. And so, those kind of situations teach us or show us that there's some higher authority. It's not just in the hands of the couple. So our scientific knowledge cannot tell us what will take place. Scientific knowledge is not enough. It depends on the Supreme Will. It's like karma mimamsa. The karma, according to karma mimamsa, karma is the supreme. But karma is not supreme. There's something higher than karma. Right? If karma was the supreme, then when the person gets sick and you take him to the hospital and gets treatment, he'll get cured. But not every time. Sometimes the patients die. There was one man, I was in Calcutta, and then we had this one man, he was a life member, he was a very big man. And he went to America to do bypass operation. He went to one of the top hospitals in America. He was a very rich man, you know. And he went to this big hospital in America to do the bypass. He died. He didn't come back, you know, he died in the operation in the USA. So, you know, even you spend all the money, doesn't mean you're going to get better, or you're going to be taken care of. It's not just in the hands of the doctor. One doctor told me, he said, you don't know who's going to die and who's going to... He said he's often surprised. Oh, he thought this one person was going to die, but the man lived. And the other person he thought was in good health died, you know. He said, I don't have the power. He said, I tried to do what I can as a doctor, but it's not in my hands who lives and who dies. And we say, what do we say?
Doctor will say.
Mare Krishna Rakhe Ke. Right? It's up to Krishna. He's the supreme, he's the controller. So the arrangement of the Supreme Lord is not just our desire. One should not desire anything. Everything depends on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what our business is simply to develop Krishna consciousness. Everything else one should fully depend on the Supreme Person. We should not create plans that will ultimately make us frustrated. So even couples, they go to these fertility centers, but sometimes they spend so much money and they still don't get a child. It doesn't. They're not always successful. So many couples, they fail. They try so many times, different ways. And people with cancer, they go for treatment, and they try to get cured, so many, but not. Practically everybody dies. Everybody's going to die anyway. So Narada and Indira are talking to the king, and they want him to understand the temporary nature of the material world. How everything and everyone is temporary. We're in a temporary situation. Before our birth, the situation wasn't there, and after our death, it won't be there. Everything is temporary. Our situation is temporary. Whatever position, whatever place we're in, how long we can stay. We don't know how long we can stay. We're building a big community here in Mayapur. You don't know how long it will last, how long it can continue. Of course, we say Lord Chaitanya has 10,000 years, golden hair. Just like there are places in India, they used to be, even Navadvip used to be the center of learning, but it's gone down a lot, not so many people. But it used to be, so many pundits and learning. And then so many other places, there were great kingdoms. Then sometimes overnight, everybody just goes. Angkor Wat. Have you been to Angkor Wat? You know Angkor Wat? Yeah? Cambodia. They've got a big temple. They built huge temple, all of stone, and it's a big place. And there's several other temples nearby as well. It used to be a whole area. They were worshipping. Mostly worship the forefathers. But everybody just left. They all just left. And a couple hundred years ago, some person was coming through Cambodia and he found the place. Nobody knew about it. This huge, big incredible building, all built exactly according to Vastu Shastra. Every morning you can see the sunrise exactly in front, behind the temple. The sun rises. Everything is built exactly according to the Vastu Shastra. Very exact. Nobody's there anymore. The people all just left. So, then you have the Roman civilization. You go to Rome and there's so many things there in Rome. Used to be a big place. The Greeks also. So different empires, they come and they go. So this is the nature of the material world. So the Buddhists say it's all false. Nothing is real. But we say, no, it's real, but it's temporary. It's temporary. It is like a dream. But you have a dream, does not continue after you wake up. So the dream is false, but the effect of the dream is not false. Prabhupada said, we do not lament for the situation in a dream before the dream takes place or after it is over. And so during the dream or during a dreamlike situation, one should not accept it as factual and lament about it. That is real knowledge. Don't lament about our material life. You know, material life, things may not go the way we want it. Everybody wants, everything, our life should be so nice, like a dream, right? Live happily ever after, we like that. But that's the dream. It doesn't happen like that. Right? Then text number 6. What's text number 6 saying? What is the same text number 6?
The Supreme Personality.
No, I want you to tell me in your own words what is the main point.
The Lord causes creation, maintenance, and annihilation. But one in the spell of Maya thinks that he himself is the creator, maintainer.
Who thinks?
The one who is under the spell of illusory energy.
The conditioned soul.
Yes, conditioned.
Anyway, we see some examples are given. The boy on the beach creates something. You go on the beach, you build a sand castle. That's how you build a sand castle. You're not very interested in it. You build a sand castle, you don't take it home with you. You leave it there on the beach. In the same way, the Lord inspires a father to beget a son. He inspires the Lord, somehow engages a man to beget a son. And at the same time, he can do things like having a government or a king to look after the public. And at the same time, he can annihilate also through things like snakes to kill. So 3 different phases of existence. You have creation, maintenance, and annihilation. And it's all going on
by the will of the Supreme Lord.
But we're thinking we're doing it.
Yes.
We think we are the creator, we are the maintainer, we are the annihilator. So that is the illusion. We're thinking, I did it. This is my child. You know, we're thinking like that. So we cannot do anything independently. So Prabhupada quotes 327, and it's all ahankara vimudatma kartahamiti. We're thinking we're the doer, I did it. So Prakriti is under the control of the Lord. Right? What's the verse? But there's another verse that Prakriti is under the control of the Lord. Yes, right. Yes, right. Mayadakshena Prakriti. Material nature is moving under my direction, O son of Kunti. The living entity without knowledge of the Lord thinks he is the doer. Actually, he is not the doer. He's an agent. He's an agent of the supreme doer. So Prabhupada said the present chaotic conditions are due to the ignorance of leaders who forget they've been appointed by the Lord to act on His behalf. Their duty is to consult the Lord and act accordingly. And the book for consultation, Bhagavad Gita. So nice that Modi gave the Bhagavad Gita to Putin. This book is about a war, and you can see how to think. So Prabhupada said, people who are engaged in creation, maintenance and annihilation should consult the Supreme Lord, who has appointed them, and should act accordingly. Then everyone will be satisfied and there will be no disturbance. So, acting under the control of the Lord. We have to be guided by the highest authority, the authority of the Lord. So we have to consult Bhagavad Gita. Then text number 7 is again talking about seeds. As from one seed, another seed is generated. So from the father, the son can be generated with the help of the mother. The elements of the material body are eternal. The living entity who appears through these elements is also eternal. The body, since the elements of the material body are eternal, but the body itself is not eternal. The combination of the elements is not eternal. The different elements come together, right? The material energy, the Prakriti, is eternal. Sometimes it's manifest, sometimes it's not. Just like this building, it's come together in the form of a building. After some time, it will all go back to dust, right? Everything will go back to the elements. The bricks, the cement, the glass, the water, all of these things, they come from earth, water, fire, air, ether. And they'll go back to the reservoir of elements in the course of time. But the elements are eternal, but the manner in which they are put together is not eternal. That's the temporary manifestation. So the living entity, what energy is the living entity?
Tatastha Shakti.
But he's meant to be He's actually meant to be superior energy. So he appears in different types of bodies by the manipulation or supervision of the material energy. So the living entity is a part of the Supreme Lord, but he desires to enjoy the material world. So the Lord gives him a chance. Different material bodies are offered to him, so he can enjoy or suffer in the material world. The living entity is manipulated by the Lord. And the so-called father and mother have nothing to do with the living entity. Right? The father and mother, they don't go to it's not like they go to the supermarket and say, oh, this little baby looks nice, I think we'll take this one. You know? Of course, you go in the hospital, you deliver a child, and then, oh, we don't know which baby is yours. You can come and have a look, and you pick out which one you like. Oh, this one's nice, I'll take this one. No, you can't really do that, right? But that's what's happening nowadays, because they have the sperm bank. The sperm bank, they put the sperm into the woman and she has to she doesn't know whose sperm it is. The hospital don't know either, they just have, like blood, you get blood, and you get somebody else's blood, you don't know whose blood you're getting. When they do a blood transfusion, you get blood from someone, you don't know whose blood it is. And now they're giving sperm, putting the sperm in the woman. The woman's conceiving a child, and she doesn't know who's the father of the children. Right? She has a husband, but the husband says, they're not my children, I didn't do anything. The husband has nothing to do with it, but the woman has children, she has a child. Usually they have twins even. So, who decides? Who determines where the children are taking birth? That's the question, right? Second question. What's the question?
2 factors.
What 2 factors determine which parents a person will have?
Yes, what 2 factors determine what parents a child will have? What 2 factors? Did you pick your mother and father? I want this couple to be my mother and father. No, right? We didn't pick. What determines where we take birth?
Own choice and karma.
Huh?
It says there is as a result of his own choice and karma.
Our own choice, so we did pick, yeah?
Yeah, I don't understand. How is it our own choice? We did not know who our parents were going to be.
It's matter and spirit.
Huh?
Matter and spirit.
Matter and spirit.
See what it says. Material, spiritual energy, they decide.
See the last.
And they will determine.
Matter and spirit determine who our parents are.
How?
Matter will decide.
They say, matter and spirit. See, both matter and spirit
Matter will make decision.
I think the last line of the purport is the answer. And that the so-called father and mother have nothing to do with the living entity. As a result of his own choice and karma, the living being takes different bodies through the agency of so-called fathers and mothers.
Well, the bit that puzzles me is our own choice.
Yeah, we don't have a choice.
No, like a person who wants to eat flesh, desires for it, and the Lord makes arrangement that he gets a body of a tiger. That is actually his choice.
Yeah.
That he wanted a body where he can enjoy flesh. And so,
Okay, so then he gets tiger
his
parents.
choice.
That's the same way with the parents, right?
I think so.
So maybe that's why he gets tiger parents.
Yeah, so it is his choice.
What do you
I
think?
agree with it.
Based on the karma and Daivanetri, superior authority, Krishna is seeing.
Well, karma, yeah. As a result of our karma, karma.
Karma, free will, your desires. Krishna Paramatma is observing all your desires.
Our own choice.
And Krishna is, as Paramatma is observing our desires all through our life in the body.
Okay.
So whenever there is a possibility, he tries to fulfill our desires. So in that way, it's our choice.
It's our choice.
He's observing us, so whenever there's a chance, then he might fulfill the desire.
Yeah, I think that it seems to indicate it's our own choice and karma.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought were the answers anyway, the two things. What do you think, Prabhu? Did you answer this? No?
No properly.
No? Okay. But I think it seems to indicate our own choice and karma. Definitely karma, we would agree on that.
But our own choice.
Yeah. We take different bodies.
Maharaj, what about the modes of material nature? Bhagavad Gita says, Uddam Gacchani Tat Sattvasa, Sattvasta, Padhya Tishtanti Rajasa, Jaganna Gunam Pratishtha, Adho Gacchanti Tamasa. So based on the modes you associate also, the planet you take birth is also determined. Uddam Gacchani.
I have a question about this clearly to understand that we do something and have a reaction, but if we do under guidance and something and get reaction, what it will be? It is our karma, or it is how it is common karma with let's say, who guide us how to clearly this will work. If somebody do not myself, but if somebody like on a battlefield they kill something, but they don't know where they give the weapon, how to say, fell down. So it may be soldiers they kill peaceful living entities. So what is the karma of these people who made the shot or who request to make a shot? So like that, difficult to see. How to understand this?
Yeah, definitely it's their own choice. They do things according to their nature.
But choice, Maharaj, choice, how can I say choice? Own choice. Karma is okay, karma we can understand it because of previous karma you have an option. Our choice is, what choice?
Maharaj Krishna says,
If I desire not to worship Supreme Personality of Godhead, if I desire to do sense gratification, and I find sense gratification is better in the lower planetary system, so I desire to go there, and the Lord is saying, okay, and then with my choice I entered there. So this is my understanding.
It was our choice to come to enjoy
Yeah.
away from Krishna, I think.
So that way.
Maharaj, influence of the gunas, because Bhagavad Gita Krishna is in 14th chapter, Uddam Gacchati Sattvasta, Padhya Tishtanti Rajasa, Jaganna Gunam Pratishtha, Adho Gacchati Tamasa. So based on the modes you associate also, you attain higher or lower planets. So that determines the body also.
Yes.
So there's a third factor, along our choice, there is karma and the modes also.
No, it's I decide which mode I want to associate with.
The modes keep attacking, how you decide which mode will attack?
So you situate yourself in Sattva Guna and they will not attack.
Ajamila was attacked by passion, it was not his choice.
But no, I think, it's true, we associate with the modes according to our nature. Our nature, we're inclined to a particular mode of nature. Somebody's inclined to eat, all kinds of garbage, and somebody else is inclined to eat food in the mode of passion. Everybody, they do have their own choice. They're under the direction of the modes of nature. To some extent, you can say his own choice and karma combined together. So karma, If it's karma, then you don't really have your own choice. What way?
As you sow, so you reap.
Huh?
As you sow, so you reap.
Yeah. I should definitely. So,
Maharaj, the 3rd chapter, 37th verse, Krishna is saying, Kamesha, Krodesha, Rajoguna Samudbhava, Mahashara, Mahapapma, Vidyena, Mihavarena. And Prabhupada writes that the desires you get are also influenced by the gunas.
yes.
So, in that way, our choices also influenced by the gunas. The choice we are making,
Yeah.
it is influenced by the guna in one way.
But the gunas are acting according to us, it's not just the gunas are acting independently, but according to our karma, the different gunas are acting. It's influenced by karma. Somebody's karma will be under the influence of the mode of ignorance. Because of his past activities, he's going to associate more with the mode of ignorance. And somebody else is going to be in different mode, according to their past. It's not just only the modes acting independently, but the modes act according to the qualification of the individual.
The Krishna is in the desire itself is influenced by the Rajoguna. Prabhupada writes in the 3rd chapter, 36 verse purport that even though a man does not want to do sin, because impelled by the modes, he has to do sin. Even though it's not his free will sometimes. If you want, I can read that.
Yeah, well, he doesn't want to do it, but at the same time, why are the modes acting? It's not just only the modes are acting independently. There must be some reason for it.
Yes.
Something there from the past. The man didn't like it, but still he does it. For some reason it's acting. Nothing is by chance. Prabhupada said that. He said nothing is by chance, there's a reason for everything. So when the modes are acting on someone, there's a reason for it.
Now Krishna is also saying, Yatatopiya Kauntaya Purushasya Vipaschitaha Indriyani Pramadini Haranti Prasabhamana. Purushasya Vipaschitaha, man of discrimination also can be deviated by the senses. And Krishna is saying senses are acted by the modes.
Yeah. Okay.
So, man of discrimination also can be deviated. A man of discrimination is a person in Sattva-guna. But he can be deviated due to influence of the modes.
Well, the senses, senses are influenced also, that's also karma. From the past, he has a particular type of senses which are influencing him. The action of the senses is, there's some reason for everything. You can't say, it's just by chance. No, it's just the modes of nature. Just some force for no reason. No. Of course, there is mercy. There is the mercy of the devotee. The devotee comes along and gives mercy, and he helps to free the person from material life, to bring him out of that condition. That is causeless mercy. But the modes are not causeless. The mercy of a devotee, that can be causeless. To bring a soul out of the material world. We don't, we don't just say, that person, he's not qualified. No, we try to give mercy to everyone. So causeless mercy, right? That's Krishna consciousness. No qualification for it, it's for everyone. But the modes of nature, that's not causeless. There's a reason for them.
Yes.
The modes of nature, there has to be something that's under some control. Modes of nature are under the direction of the Lord. It's His energy acting. And the suffering, the miseries are put on people according to their past deeds, what they deserve. It's not by chance. So we have to understand like that. And of course the mother and father are thinking, this is our child. And at the end you see also qualities in the child which indicate, oh, it looks like, oh, she's got her mother's eyes, or, oh, she's got her mother's good looks, oh, like that, No, the little boy, is like his father, he's irritable, he's lazy, he's dirty, like that, And so you see qualities in the children which reflect from the mother or father, but, it doesn't last very long.
Maharaj, sometimes intelligent parents don't have intelligent children, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, intelligent, the mother and father may be PhDs and the children, they don't have any interest. I know people like that.
It happened in my family lineage also.
Yeah.
PhDs and...
Yeah, I was in this one place, though, the mother and father were both very famous doctors, very prominent, and they had 3 children. The 2 children, they didn't want to study. They just refused, I'm not going to study anymore. I'm not going to go to school anymore. They go, I'm not going to go anymore. And they had all the tantrums and, and terrible, so many mental problems, Mother and father are brilliant, brilliant doctors, But the children, oh my God, so many problems. It's hard to understand.
Even sometimes devotees' children also, Maharaj, they don't become devotees.
Oh, so many. There's so many children. It's the hardest thing to bring up your children to be devotees. Very difficult. People have told me they try everything to bring their children up. Very difficult to make your children devotees.
Yes.
Not easy. And Prabhupada also had children. Of course, Prabhupada's wife wasn't very, very devotional, She was just a simple woman, she was just a Bengali woman, She just didn't, often women are like that, they don't take much interest, She's just a housewife, So when the children grew up, they were not very devotional. The youngest one was more interesting. Came a few times to the temple. Vrindavan, yeah. And then his daughter was here,
Yes,
and she died in the flood.
He was going to take initiation, but after his daughter died, he didn't.
Yeah, she took initiation. The daughter, she was married to
She
a
has a
devotee.
daughter.
Huh? She has a daughter still.
Yes.
What? Did the husband remarry?
No,
Didn't
they're
remarry?
just everyone knows that he's a translator. Sujitendra.
Huh? What's his name?
Sujitendra.
They live in Mayapur.
Sujitendra. That was the husband, wasn't it?
Yes,
He's still got the shop on the wall?
yes. He has a daughter. They are the granddaughter of Vrindavan.
Granddaughter?
Yes.
Vrindavan? She must be grown up now.
We were in the same class. She is in college now.
She's in college now.
Vrindavan they had a son also who's not a devotee, but he's also married.
Vrindavan.
Yeah, Prabhupada's son had how do you say?
So Prabhupada's grandson.
Yeah, grandson. He's there. The granddaughter died in.
Yeah, 2 people died, right? And the
Yes,
wife
yeah.
and the daughter.
Yeah, first daughter.
First daughter, yeah.
The second daughter.
Okay, so we'll take a break. Difficult to understand mothers and fathers, who's the
Everyone was getting